Figs here, welcome to this custom figure tutorial, the first time I'm ever doing this, so I hope you will enjoy. Today I'll be showing you how to create your very own Zack Ryder Elite WrestleMania 32 figure. So what you need, this may seem a bit weird, but you do need it. You need clear nail polish, which you should be able to find either around the house or really cheap. And you also need Podge, which also shouldn't be too hard to find, and you should be able to find at a local craft store or any other matte clear sealer. You also need to Google Curb Stomp City decals. On their website they are selling Zack Ryder WrestleMania 32 trunk decals. So I've ordered those already, they are on the way. That'll be a crucial step in this custom, they're really cheap. And you also need the Major Wrestling Figure podcast to scratch that figure itch back scratcher, to scratch that figure itch on what we have in here. So for the figures we need, first off we'll start off with what we have in here. I'll just quickly cut it open if I can. Okay, so the first figure you need is the Elite Series 59 Zack Ryder. Now, there was a thing going around the internet a little while back before this figure was released that you could use the Elite Series 39 Damien Mizdow base, and I guess you can, but judging by this one, it's like a half-finished one. The height, it's actually, well, this one is kind of hunched over at the moment, so you can't really tell. But the Mizdow body, it's actually a little bit smaller. This was a half-finished custom that I got from Morgan, who he got from someone else. So we can't really use this, so it's better off using this figure. And also, I'm going to have to regret opening this, but you do need the basic Series 72 Zack Ryder for the arms, the knee pads, and the boots. I've had this figure for nearly 2 years. I don't really want to let it breathe, but we have to do it for the sake of this video, for the sake of this custom. So yeah, this is all the parts you need. Oh, you don't really need this jacket. So the first step for this custom, obviously we have to let this one breathe, sadly, but we will be swapping the arms, knee pads and boots over by using some boiling hot water and popping them off. Let's get to that. I don't really want to have to do this. Oh, the carding is in perfect condition. Oh, I don't really want to have to do this, but smells exactly like 2017. Let's get on to the part swapping. So after you've boiled the jug and you've got your hot water there, you want to put both figures in there. We're just going to swap out the arms first. That'll take about 30 seconds to a minute, and that should be good. We'll just take this one out first. Now actually the arm mold on the Elite one is different to the basic, but I kind of like the basic ones more because although the Elite ones, it has more definition, they're actually a little bit smaller. So that's why we're going to keep the upper arms from the basic as well. So yeah, you just pull them off. If you guys didn't know how this works, yeah, the hot water just softens the plastic up to the point where you can pop them off. So we've got the basic arm on the Elite now. Yeah, it's a pretty handy trick, and you can do it with the heads as well, but they're the same head sculpt, same everything, so there's no point. We'll just chuck the Elite arms on the basic as well, why not? And this next step isn't as simple as the arms. We're going to chuck both figures back in there. We're going to heat the legs up, we're going to take off the boots. But unfortunately with basic and Elite figures, the boots can't swap right over because the pegs are slightly different. So we're going to have to swap it from the knee. I'll show you guys how to do that for a second. But we're going to have to wait probably 1 to 2 minutes for this one, just to get the plastic warm enough and soft enough for this. Get back to you when it's done. That should hopefully be enough to get us going for starters. So we are just going to pop the boots off to start off. Yeah, you just pull it off like the arms. It can be a little bit more difficult because the pegs are a bit longer on this one, but they do come off fairly easy. We're just going to pop the boots off so we can slip the knee pads off. Yeah, this can also take a little while. Yep, now we have both of them. We're just going to chuck them back in because it did take me a little while to take the knee pads off. We want the legs to be as soft as possible. So I've left those in for about another minute. I'll start with the basic figure. Now I'm no expert with these swaps, but I have done it before. So you want to remove this lower leg. Yeah, this only is a single joint, so you just kind of have to pull it out until the peg disconnects like that, and then the other side should come out fairly easy. Yeah, so that's not really the hard part. The hard part is getting it back on to the other figure, but yeah, we've got this side as well. So that wasn't too hard. I'll do the same with the Elite, but I'll cut it so you guys don't have to sit through this. It's pretty much the same as the basic. So with the lower legs removed from both the figures, we just got them back sitting in the hot water to soften them up as much as possible. Now, I forgot to mention at the start of this video, the most important thing you need for this custom is actually just patience, this next part especially. So for this you might need scissors to help wrestle the peg back in, because it's basically just reverse of what we did before, just swapping the lower legs over to the other figures. So you might need scissors to help just move the peg in, and then pliers to help close them back up. So this part will be time-lapse. I'll start with the Elite. I'll try to film as much of this as possible. It might be a little bit hard to get it all on camera. Oh, got the wrong leg there. But yeah, basically, yeah, just reverse, and yeah, I'll stop talking now. We'll time-lapse this part so you're not too bored. There you go, one leg done. I'll do this with the rest of them and we'll get back to you when it's done. So that part is finally all done. Now, don't be afraid to reboil the water just to keep it hot enough to keep the parts soft. I did have to do that quite a few times actually, but we've finished this one and the basic as well. I've chucked the jacket on there. If you display it just right, you can't even notice that the trunks are wrong, so you can display this basic still as this USA attire. But yeah, and I've chucked the Intercontinental title on this for now, so if you don't want to go any further, you can still just leave it like this and display it if you like. But if you're like me and that's not good enough for you, you have to take that belt off and get to the next step. And this is the step where you need your clear nail polish. Now this may seem funny and you may be wondering why I'm not using nail polish remover, as that can usually work to remove paint. Well, I find that it tends to smudge the design rather than remove it completely, especially on white. It's going to show up really clearly if it's just smudged it. So with this, you apply it and the nail polish, it actually grips to the design. So you wipe it off and the design comes off with it, and it can take a while. Again, patience is the key for this, so it will take a little while to do. But well, actually, yeah, and you also need a little rag, of course, to wipe it off with. I've got like an odd sock here that I've been using to remove the paint, and it works perfectly. So you just apply it a little bit here, and you don't need the tape, but I just thought, just in case, I don't want to accidentally get some on there. So yeah, you wipe it there, and oh man, that's actually coming off better than I thought. So yeah, it is smudging it a little bit, but yeah, if you go over it enough times, it will get it, and it will come off a lot more clean. And if you use nail polish remover, it would just, like, it can damage the figure if you get too much on it. So yeah, continue this for 20 minutes or so, and I'll get back to you when it's done. And here we have it with all the designs removed. I think that looks pretty good, it looks really clean, and the decals have also arrived. Here they are. The cool thing about it is they've included 2 of each decal logo, and they've also included, I suppose these are boot logos. We don't need those since they're on the basic boots, so maybe as a test it would be nice to try them out on the basic boots, who knows. But something I failed to mention at the start of this video is I have to thank my friend Morgan so much for this. Now, the reason why I had to have that extra basic figure to open for the parts on this rather than using the ones from this unfinished custom is I got this from Morgan in a trade, and he got this already unfinished from someone else in another trade he did, so he had no idea that the height was incorrect. So when he traded it to me, and I noticed the height was incorrect and I informed him of it, he felt so bad that he's actually the one that paid for this Elite Series 59 Zack Ryder figure. Thank you so much, Morgan, and the least I could do to repay him is finish off his by putting the decals on, and whether or not he can find some replacement legs, he still has an awesome looking Zack Ryder WrestleMania 32 custom Elite figure at the end of it. So yeah, the cool thing about the decals is it comes with instructions. So I have to be honest, I'm not sure how much footage I'm going to be able to get because it's going to be quite awkward focusing really hard on putting the decals on and having a camera in front of me. So if you are unsure, it comes with directions. So yeah, that's also good news. I'm unsure of what footage I'm going to be able to get of this, but hopefully we have an awesome custom figure on the other side. Most of this part is time-lapse because if I include the whole thing in the video, it would have dragged on way too long. So I decided to pop the legs off with hot water, of course, so the decals, especially the side ones, could go underneath the trunk piece because they're a little bit long, and otherwise it would just stick to the leg and you wouldn't be able to move them around at all. So yeah, instructions, of course, as I stated earlier, come with the decals, so if it's hard for you to follow along here, you do get the instructions, but you do need the lukewarm water to put the decal in for about 10 seconds, the towel to dry it off for about 10 seconds again. Yeah, you peel it off just like that and apply it to the figure. It doesn't have to be perfect yet, and you get a Q-tip and you wet one side of it, and then that allows you to move it around for a little bit until you're happy with the placement. Then you get your dry side of the Q-tip to basically push the air bubbles out, make sure the design's stuck on. You might want to put a thumb on it just in case it's still wet underneath, but once you're happy with it, you're done. You keep it sitting there for at least 24 hours. Then this is when the Mod Podge comes in. You basically just want to put maybe like a couple of thin coats on there. You don't want the brush strokes to really show up by doing a thick coat, so do a couple of thin coats 24 hours after the decals have dried, and once you've done that, pop the legs on and you are done. And just like that, we are 100% done. The legs are back on, all of the decals have been applied. Very happy with how it turned out. Great job on the decals from Curb Stomp City Decals. Definitely go check him out. He has all kinds of decals, like tattoos and whatnot. Yeah, just loads of different options. And again, thank you to my friend Morgan for making this possible. The side decals were kind of tough because with it having to tuck under the bottom of the trunk piece, it wouldn't really stick down very well, but it's all good. It's done. The front and back were all good to apply as well. And with the back of the knee pads, with the black sleeves popping through, it's actually accurate because he had black knee pads underneath these white and purple knee covers, so don't worry about that. But if it bothers you, you can just remove it with the clear nail polish. And I swapped the two open hands on so we can hold up the Intercontinental Championship. Let's see what that looks like. We finally have an Elite WrestleMania 32 Zack Ryder figure. Hell yes, this will always be one of my favorite WrestleMania moments of all time. Hope you enjoyed this video, hope you found it useful. If you did, please leave a like on this video. That way it tells me that you want to see me do more of these in the future. And if you end up making one of these yourself, I'd be interested in seeing it. So please tag me in it on Twitter or Instagram, wherever you post it. I'd really like to see it. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you all next time. Just a kid.